Hello, wealthy, successful, money-making traders. This is your trader's friend. Thanks for joining me today for another video. I'm so glad you've chosen to be here with me. Guys, today I'd like to talk to you about the tale of two triangles. And if you go back in your charts and you look on a larger time frame, it seems that both triangles should have done the same thing. However, they did not. Let's deal with the first triangle, and the first triangle you've already seen today in a previous video. But in this triangle, we were making a series of lower highs, and you can see that clearly in this triangle. Now, because of the way the market was on a larger time frame, I was in a bearish trade. However, I was moving this line, and in the previous video it is red, but I was moving this along the higher lows. So I was moving this because what it did for me is it allowed me to have a place that I knew that the market had gone too far against me before it stopped me out. So eventually I got here. If I got a break and close above this candle, I knew that I was out of this market, which is exactly what happened. I had to close the short and I had to enter long. So you'll see that we have some great things going on in this particular triangle. What you have is you have the false break, but price doesn't really go anywhere. So please watch out for that in your triangles. If you get a break to one side and price really isn't moving, it may be a market that you want to sit back and wait to see what it's going to do. But here you have all of your moving averages just right here together. You have price break above that. However, it didn't really break the trend line. It looks like it did here, but yeah, earlier this wasn't, well, no, I'm sorry, it did break the trend line. I apologize. What it did not do was break above this previous swing low high, if that makes any sense to you, because I was getting lower highs, but it was still the high in that particular instance, if you will. So it was actually on this candle that we got the strong break and close above that lower high. So I went ahead and went bullish on that candle, and you saw that trade already today. Now let's take a look at another triangle, and it came later on in the market. What you were getting here, you were getting a series of lower highs, as you can see. However, you were also making lower lows. You were not making higher lows. You got to the place where your lows kind of hit this area of support and plateaued for a while. Then you got this false break to the upside. But notice what's going on here. You also have the 200 SMA that acts as resistance, as well as the fact that you have not taken out the previous swing low high, if you will, because it is a high that's lower than the previous high, but it's still higher than this high, if that makes sense to you. But you'll see here we just kind of got in range bound for a little bit. So once price does a breakout of a triangle, if it's not really going anywhere, be leery of that price. But no matter what, if you get out on the wrong side of the triangle and the market shows you that you do not have the advantage that you thought you did, be sure to cut and follow the money. Guys, I just want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Have a terrific pip-filled trading week. And yes, I'm sorry, I apologize for this. I'm in a trade to the downside right now. So have a great day.